All right, thank you. 8:15. Well, the validity of thousands of Australian prenuptial agreements could soon be in doubt. A case before the family court is challenging the law about relationship contracts and the role of lawyers when one's being signed. For many of us, prenuptial agreements are associated more with Hollywood scandals than real life. We watch the headlines as the cracks appear.
I've had worse press than a paedophile or a murderer.
While behind closed doors, the tough negotiations begin.
He also said that Paul is only worth 400 million. Everybody knows he's been worth 800 for the last 15 years.
It was a surprisingly short settlement when Tomcat split last year. Their tight prenup meant Katie Holmes walked away with about $15 million of Tom Cruise's $250 million fortune. Grant Hackett and Candice Alley's explosive breakup has seen the Olympian sue his lawyers over what he calls a defective prenup. And now a court action known as the pole dancer case could jeopardise all Australian relationship contracts since 2004. With millions of dollars at stake, a divorcee is suing his former lawyer, saying he didn't properly advise him of the pros and the cons of the agreement. He claims the contract is invalid.
This has got the attention of many people, I should imagine. Family lawyer Fiona Reid joins us now. Now, Fiona, they're not called prenups here, are they? They're financial agreements.
They're financial agreements, yes.
So how do they work?
Essentially, the point of a financial agreement is that people work out a prenup, work out before they get married how they're going to divide up their assets in the event the marriage breaks down. So it's to avoid, at the end of your marriage, having to go to the family court to have a judge decide how your assets are going to be divided.
Now, is it just for the rich and famous? A lot of people are getting married later, bringing a lot of assets of their own to a relationship now. Has that sort of changed?
Absolutely. Well, in circumstances where one of the parties has significantly more assets than the other, that's a good reason for a prenup. And the other good reason is in a second marriage, particularly if children are involved. If you've been through a family court process once, you don't want to go through that again. And it ensures that what you're trying to do is protect the assets of your children from your first marriage in the event your second marriage fails.
OK, now tell us about the pole dancer case and how this could change things.
Look, I think that every day we are seeing people challenging binding financial agreements and saying that their lawyers haven't advised them properly. In essence, if the agreement was drafted properly and if that person got proper legal advice, as they're meant to do, everyone's supposed to have independent legal advice about the agreement, then the agreements should stand up. I don't think this means the end of every financial agreement that's ever been drafted. What I do think will happen is that the more people are challenging these agreements, the less likely it is that lawyers are going to want to draft them, because we're obviously facing more and more liability in relation to those things.
And just go through the family court like everyone else.
Well, that's right, if you have to. I mean, the majority of matters settle. So, you know, the family court system is supposed to be fair. It has a system in place to ensure that everyone is protected and that contributions are recognised. So you'd like to think the system works, but most people can stay out of the family court anyway.
OK, great advice. Thank you, Fiona.
Thanks,
Good to see you. Here's Sam.